Man, I picked up this woman yesterday. And as soon as she got in the bed, she said, "You see that man right there? You see that security guard right there?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "He just tried to holler at me." I said, "So did you give him your number?" She said, "No." I said, "Why not?" I said, I said, "He's a good looking guy." She said, "I like women." And I said, "Oh," because I read that completely wrong. Like shorty, like 60s, like between 60 and 64. So I read that wrong, bro. So, because she came out with a kid. She had a kid with her, right? 12-year-old boy. So I'm like, really? So she said, "Yeah," and then he gonna look at me and say, "Oh, that's just because you ain't found the right man." She said, "I done been with so many men, young men." She said, "Because I used to like the younger men, and the younger men liked me." And I could tell because shorty had a body. Even though she in her 60s, she still had a fat ass. I couldn't believe it, right? So I'm looking. Of course, I'm looking. You know what I mean? Like, I had to not look at the face, though, but I'm looking. I'm trying to see what she got going on under there. And, but anyway, so she's like, "Yeah, I've been with a bunch of men. I can tell you right now, ain't none of them shit. They can't even get it up. I got to work too hard to get it up for them. And then by the time it's finally up, I don't even want to do nothing with them no more." So I'm laughing, right? Shorty could be a comedian, right? I'm laughing, right? So she goes, so I don't have time. Men always trying to holler at me everywhere I go. And I was like, I said, "You're a pretty woman." She's like, "Yeah, but I like women." I said, "Okay." So I felt like she was saying that purposely because she's looking at me and she could tell I like women. So I'm trying to see how far this conversation gonna go, right? So she's like, "Yeah, his daddy is young," talking about her son. She's like, "His daddy young. I used to like him young." I said, "They liked you too, huh?" And she's like, "Oh." She said, "They still like me." She said, I wouldn't talk to an older man, but the young men, some of them still be cute, but I got a girlfriend." I said, "So how long have you been playing, with the women?" Like, and she's like, "Well, I feel like I've always been bisexual my whole life." She was like, "But, I'm too dominant to be with a man." She was like, "So I like telling a woman what to do in the bedroom." So I'm like, okay. I'm trying not to envision any of this, but I'm like, okay. And then she's like, but I feel like I've always liked women, but I was scared to be myself." She said, "But now that I'm in my 60s, baby, I don't care. I'm going to live in my truth. So I got me a girlfriend. We've been together for 10 years. We lived together. We bought a house together and everything. And she helps me take care of my son." And I said, okay. And the moral of the story is, I feel like there's a lot of women out here who are bisexual, right? You might still get married and have kids or have a baby daddy and, co-parent with the kids. And you might even still want to lay with a man from time to time. But you still have this unnecessary craving to still be in the presence of a woman, right? So when the men say, "Oh, that's just because you ain't found the right man," that's just a man's ego. A man can't fathom why a woman would want to lay with another woman. But men, it's easy. We want the same thing y'all want. So when you think about, would you want to lay with another man? No. So when you think about all the beautiful thoughts that come in your mind when you're laying with a woman, well, those are the same beautiful thoughts that come in our mind, just to put it in perspective for you, right? But anyway, so I bring her home. I said, "Hey, you're 60, living your truth. Go in the house and do some gay shit with your girlfriend." You know what I mean? And she started laughing and I dropped her off. I had to go pick up the next person, but this person wasn't ready. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to post up at the gas station because, downtown Atlanta, there's never nowhere to park unless you want to pay. So I'm posted up at the gas station and a security guard comes and knocks on my window. I was parked there for like 10 minutes. Security guard come knock on my window. So I look over. I give him a dirty look. Cause it's like, "Nigga, what do you want? I ain't bothering nobody." Right? So he goes like this, tells me to roll down my window. Right? So I roll it down. Shut the fuck up. So I roll it down and, walking past my window talking all loud. And I think she homeless. So how she got a cell phone? I don't know. That must be one of them Obama phones. But I'm in a sketchy area. But anyway, so he knock on my window and I'm like, oh, here we go. Cause I was on the phone with somebody. So I'm like, oh God, here we go. So I roll down my window. I'm like, "Hey, what up, man?" He's like, "Listen, I understand you light skinned and beautiful, but I'm gonna need you to move." So I'm like, here we go. He only had one tooth. I'm pretty sure he had more in the back, but he didn't have two front teeth. He only had one. And I'm looking at him like, the whole time I'm like, is he flirting with me? He's like, "Where you from, beautiful? Because I know you not from here." So I'm looking at him like this because I'm immediately irritated. I feel like the woman where the security guard tried to holler at her. Now I understand what she was saying, So I'm like, I said, "I'm from New York." "Oh, I could tell you from New York because you so dominant." He's like, "I love me a dominant woman." Well, man, what the fuck that got to do with me? Listen, I understand we all got coochies, and that's why you men still try to holler at us, but look at me. I look like a whole fucking linebacker. You dig what I'm saying? Like I should be out there on the field. You feel me? And what we gonna do together, bro? So now I gotta entertain this bullshit because I'm bored. So I looked at him and I was like, I said, how long you been working here? Are you from Georgia? How long have you lived here? Just making petty conversation. So the person I'm on the phone with is laughing in the background because they already know what I'm doing. They know me so well. They already know what I'm doing, shawty. You dig? So he looks at me. He goes, I just want to let you know your hair is so long and pretty. I'm like, thank you. And I wanted to say your tooth is so missing, but I didn't say it. It's just I wanted to say it, and I actually should have said it to get his response because I knew that was gonna make him fucking walk away. But I'm trying to be a better person. I've been praying a lot. But anyway, so I just looked at him and I was like, no. He was like, so you gonna let me get your number? And that's when I just had to stop. I couldn't fake this shit no more. So oh no, this is before the lady walked past. Excuse me. He said, you gonna let me get your number? I said, bro, you're not my type. Now he's mad. He goes, oh, so you one of them studs. I said, why I gotta be classified as a stud? You're just not my type. You can not be my type because you only got one tooth. Or you can not be my type because you're too dark. I don't know, but for him to jump to conclusions and say, oh, you one of them studs? I said, bro, why I gotta be a stud? Like, why can you just not be my type? And then he goes, well, do you like women? And then that's when he had me. He said, well, do you like women? I said, yeah. He said, then you're a stud. And I don't know who created this fucking word. I don't like it no more. Isn't that a horse? Isn't that a horse that ain't never got his balls chopped up? Like, look up the definition, bro. That's a horse. Bro, that's a male horse. So I was like, listen, bro. I said, no. So this is when he tried to get funny. So I was like, yeah, whatever, bro. I'm a stud, whatever. And then this big woman, and I ain't got nothing against big people, but this big woman, weave looked like it's been in her head 4 weeks too long, gonna walk past the front of the van and he gonna look at me and say, oh, is that your type? I said, nigga, you know that's not my type. Stop playing with me. Do I need to show you the type of women I be bagging? The type of women I done dated? Don't play with me. Well, you said you like women. I said, just because I like women don't mean I like all women, you fool. I'm like, what are you even talking about right now? So then another woman pulls up. A Challenger. It was a Hellcat Challenger pulled up. And it was a girl driving it, but she didn't get out yet, so we didn't see her body or nothing. So he's like, oh, let me guess, that's what you like. I said, I like the car. I was like, but let's see who hops out the car, right? So me and him both looking like this now, right? Shorty get out the car, and I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, yeah, nah. He like, oh, you picky. I said, I'm real picky, man. I said, but let me put you up on game, bro. I'm like, don't ever approach someone who looks like me and then starts complimenting they look, saying light skin, and say, let me get your number. I said, because you can clearly look at me and you knew damn well you wasn't my type. I said, you were trying to be funny and I don't play them type of games. Oh, he's like, oh no, my bad, shorty. My bad. He was like, I ain't mean nothing by it. I just, I came to work and, I'm cool with you. I ain't got no problem with you copping a plea. So I'm like, all right, bro. So I start rolling my window up and he's like, well, no, I still need you to move though. I said, so it was okay for me to sit here while you were trying to holler at me. So if I would have gave you my number, I could have stayed. But now that you ain't my type, now I gotta leave. And this nigga made me leave the parking lot. That little 1-tooth snaggle mother.